My name is Tereill, PA. I am a motivational success and writing coach. Yes, so I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create more income, impact, and visibility by creating your signature service, okay? And also by creating your story, your books for all my coaches, authors, and speakers out there. So I help you to write your book and publish them. So I have a publishing company, and I also have a consulting company, right? So how do I do all of this? Well, I do this with my signature programs. One is Dreamed and Driven. That's where I help people one-on-one to dive into your signature services. And then I have another program, which is called the Writer's Concierge Blueprint. And that's where I walk writers through the process of writing and completing your manuscript so that you can write a book that is sellable and also a book that is powerful, right? All about purpose. I'm all about purpose. I am your purpose queen over here, okay? So I'm also the host of the TT Street Show podcast, which is not only on iTunes, but it also streams on demand on Roku at KTV. So feel free to go over there and watch me live. That's where all my interviews are. That's where you can see me in my zone, right? And so I'm also the author of my Broken Stiletto, A Woman's Guide to Upleveling Your Faith, Finances, and Fashion. Yes. So I say all that to say is that I have a lot going on, just like I'm sure you do. And so today I specifically wanted to come in and talk about the quickest way to get your book done during this pandemic, during COVID-19, a coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. We are going to dive into how to get this thing done. And the reason why, I feel like I'm yelling, I hope I'm not yelling, but the reason why I wanted to speak on this is because I have been speaking with a lot of aspiring authors, and one of the things that they have been saying is that they have been struggling with focusing during the pandemic, and they're like, well, I don't know how to get this thing done. I know I have a book inside of me. I know I'm called to do more, but the reality is I don't really think I'm going to have the time, right? And so one of the things that I do with my writers, and particularly the ones who feel like life is getting in the way, or, they just can't really focus the way that they want to focus, or, they don't have a writing muscle, or haven't thoroughly developed their stories, is we really dial into clearing out all of the outside forces first before you start writing, right? So I usually do like a whole prerequisite meeting before I decide to work with someone. And what that really means is, we really dive into one-on-one. We talk about where you are in the process. Hello, whoever just joined. I can't see the comments, but say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. But the first thing that we really dialed in on is not only what your story is about, but we dial into what's going on with you, right? So what does your day-to-day look like? Do you actually have time to get it done, right? And so a lot of times we have these big goals and dreams, and we're like, yeah, I want to write a book this year. And then you start getting into what it really takes, right? And then we back away because we're like, oh, I didn't know this was going to require so much of me, right? So today what I wanted to do was give you a couple of tips on how you can move forward with completing your story during COVID-19, because let's just be real. It's hard, right? Trying to balance it all, right? And so I think I did a training a couple of weeks ago where I answered a 3-part question, which was the number one thing, the number one question that I kept getting over and over again. And if you haven't caught that, I definitely would recommend you go back and watch that, right? So that you can really just get some clarity on what are some of the things you need to clear out around your environment. What are the things you need to what kind of mindset you need to have in order to finish your book, okay? So we're going to dive in. You guys ready? Drop a one in the comment section if you're ready to talk about what is the quickest way to write your book during COVID. Okay. So number one is to focus. Yes. Focus, 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 focus. So I know that may sound so simple, but the reality is that it's not, right? Because you're going to have so many distractions. And if you have people who are pulling at you from different times, you may have people who are really just interrupting your world, right? Let's just call it for what it is, right? So if you have people who are interrupting your day to day and it's not going as quickly, right? You want to focus. So how much time are you focusing to make this thing happen? How much time do you really need to really get your book done? So these are questions that you want to internalize and ask yourself. Do you have enough time to focus? Do you really have enough time to get your book done? Are you focused? Are you focused? Meaning, is your mind focused on your book? Meaning, is your mind focused on your story, right? Usually I talk about this inside of my Facebook group when I did a training not too long ago. I usually talk about setting your intentions, right? So what is your focus? What is your focus for your story? And what does that really look like? What does it look like? Are you focused? Meaning not so much focus on, okay, I have 12 chapters to write, or today I'm going to sit down. No, focus meaning when you start dialing into sitting down and writing your story, right? Are you focused in the zone of writing, or are you focused on other things? For instance, are you focused on, I need to cook dinner at 5 o'clock and I have not picked out what we have it for dinner, right? Or are you focused on, yeah, I have writer's block and I can't get past the first chapter, or I can't get past the first sentence? Listen, it's okay. It's normal, right? And so if you're having these things, you want to be mindful of, what is your focus on? Where are you in the process? Start writing them down. What's distracting you, right? Is it that your outside things are starting to take over so that you can't really dial in and focus on your I was going to say on your script or your manuscript, or are you really just distracted? So because everything that is going on in the world right now, you will have to be extremely focused, meaning that you can't let other things get into your mindset, right? You have to be strategic and you have to set your intentions. And the only way to set your intentions is to really dial in and focus on diving deep into your story and setting those intentions, knowing what you are going to be focusing on and not letting any other distractions come into that. Okay, so number one is to focus. Okay, number two, if you're watching this on the replay, say hello, drop some hearts. Let me know if this is resonating with you. If you are ready, drop a 2 in the comment section. Okay. Number 2 is to niche down. Yes, niche down. So all that means is to simplify your message, simplify your book, right? You cannot talk about 50 million things in one book. You cannot. You will have to simplify your message. What does that mean? That means that you have to narrow in on what is the focus of your book. You cannot be talking about 50 million things in your book and then expecting people to buy it, because they're not going to be able to focus on your actual story. So you want to niche down your story. Okay. So what does that look like? It looks like if you are a coach, an author, a speaker, who are you writing your book for, right? Have you narrow it down? Okay. Have you zoned it down so that you know which area you are focusing on? What things are you going to be taking your readers through? What is that process? Okay, so I really want you to really be clear on niching down. Okay, so number 1 is the focus. Number 2 is to niche down your messaging for your book. Okay, number 3 is to, and this kind of goes with number one, a little bit, is to clear out your roadblocks. Okay. So what that means is to be really clear on who is your story for. Okay, who is your story for? Because your story is not for everyone. I know when I work with my writers and my clients, that's one of the things that we really spend some time on. Because if you're someone who eventually would like to get speaking engagements, or you want to pitch to do a workshop, or you want to sell your book in different aspects, then you are going to have to know your story, right? But you also need to know, like, who is your story for, and you're not going to know that if you're unclear. Okay, so you want to be clear on your roadblocks, what's coming up for you. If you do have let's say you are stuck and you do have writer's block, you need to identify, why do I have writer's block? Is it that I'm scared to talk about a certain part of my story? Is it that I haven't properly healed from something? Is it that I'm afraid of what other people are going to think? Okay, and if you are having any of these feelings, just know that that is normal. Okay, but what's not normal is to not work through that. Okay, so for instance, inside of my book, I talk about topics that are very sensitive, right? But I would have not spoken on certain topics if I had not healed from it. Okay, so you have to be very clear on what those roadblocks are and what is stopping you from move forward. Okay, are you focused on outside forces? Are you focused on, oh my goodness, what are people going to say? Or are you stuck because you don't know how to tell the story, because you're afraid that someone is going to get mad at you, right? So meaning that you don't know the legalities of it. You don't know how to talk about your story without thinking, oh my goodness, will I get sued, right? These are some of the things that happens, but you have to know how to deal with it. Okay, again, that's something that I work closely with my writers. We talk about how to handle all of that. Okay, and like I said, I have a prerequisite stage where if you are in one of those areas where you're like, I haven't fully healed, guess what? I don't really, I give you some tools so that you know how to go and handle that the right way. Okay, so that when it's time for you to write, you're not sitting there bawling out, right? You're not just like, oh my goodness, I can't even talk about this because it's still cutting at me. No. We don't want you. I don't want you crying and cutting. Yes, writing is therapeutic. But also, when you're writing a book, it's not just your journal. This is your story to help other people. So you need to be okay with telling your story from a strong place, right? So if you're not in that strong place, you have to figure out what's stopping you. Okay, so get clear on your roadblocks. What are they? What's stopping you? Okay, it's number 3. Number 4. Okay, I hope you're still with me. Are you still with me? If you're still with me, type I'm still with you in the comment section. Okay, number 4 is to develop a strong outline, right? And so I get super passionate about this because not only do I help my writers develop a strong outline, we create something called a blueprint. Okay, and it's a beautiful layout of your book. It's like your architectural blueprint of your book. So like, when you think about building a house, well, that's what we do with your story, right? You get to see what it looks like in a program that we do. So you get to see every stage that you work through, what each experience looked like, how it was formulated. That's what I'm talking about. Why do I do this with my writers? Because as you are moving along in the process, after you finish writing a strong story, a strong, powerful story, you're going to need to go back to that blueprint so that you can land speaking engagements, so that you can pitch organizations or whatever it is that you want to do, right? So you need a strong foundation so that not only what you're writing, but where you're going, right? And what happens afterwards. You can always have something to go back to. So it's not just a basic, ordinary outline. Yeah, that's great. That's a good starting point, but you want a blueprint. You want your story to have some foundation, some structural continuity, something that's going to stand strong, right? So that's what what we do over here. We create a blueprint for your story so you know it's strong. You're not having no shaky story where you're like, oh, I'm missing something from here and I'm missing something from there. Why? So that when you get into the editing process, you're not wasting thousands of dollars with your editor, okay? Because you haven't written a story that was cohesive. You hadn't written a story that wasn't developed properly, right? So an outline is going to not only save you thousands of dollars if it's done correctly, but also set you up for future monies to come. Okay, so an outline is great. A blueprint is even better. Okay, so you want to develop a strong outline. Okay, fifth tip. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. And listen, get the help to close the gaps when you are in the process. Okay, if you want to expedite the process, you want to close the gaps. How do you close the gaps? By getting help, right? I don't know why there are so many writers out here who are sitting back holding your stories hostage when you know good and well that you should have had that book written 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but yet you are afraid to invest in yourself to move the needle forward. So you know that you need to move forward, but you're like, I'm afraid because I have to make a little bit of investment. That should be a no-brainer. Why? Because your book is something you can sell over and over again, right? You can sell one book in bulk. Okay, let's say you're selling a book for $19.99, okay, and you do 500 a book bulk order. That is what, $9,995, if my math serves me correctly, almost $10,000 on one bulk book order. Okay, so you have to think about the return on investment. Okay, we got to get out of that mindset of I can't get what I need because I have to make an investment. Yes, your book is an investment, and if there's something you don't know, you want to be able to close those gaps so you can move forward. Because if you don't, you're going to be in that 95% of people who never finish their books. Okay, and that's unacceptable. Why? Because your story is not for you. If you have that calling, if you have that vision, if you have that inside of you, then it's time to move forward. You cannot hold it hostage because you're afraid to invest the money. Figure it out. Okay, yes, that may mean you may have to sacrifice. Okay, when I wrote my book, I used my tax return to pay for some of it. Okay, some of it I used some of my bonus when I was working in my 9 to 5, right? I planned it out. I said, you know what, by any means necessary, I'm going to get this thing done. At that time, I didn't know everything that I knew now. It was a process, right? So that does not mean because you don't know, you don't do anything, or you try to go to Google University, because Google University is not going to critique you and give you any verbal feedback when you need it, right? So I say all that to say, get the help, okay? Get the help to close the gaps, whatever it is. So if you don't know the publishing process, if you like, I'm stuck, I don't know how to get my story out of my head, okay? I have some stuff written, but it's all over the place, and I have multiple things written and I just can't finish any of them. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that you're in the same spot? Okay, yes, you need accountability. Okay, you have people like myself who are here to move you along the process, right? When my clients come to me, usually they're like, I need someone to help me get this thing done. And that's what we do. We get it done by any means necessary. And I hold you accountable to your story. Why? Because your story is not for you. It's not. Okay. So I really want you to think about what's holding you back and how you can move forward. Again, I'm going to briefly go over the tips, and then I will tell you what I have going on so that you can move forward. Okay. So number one is to focus. Okay. That's your mindset. What are you focused on? Okay. Number two is to niche down your topics, niche down your book. You cannot be talking about 50 million topics. You need to narrow it down to one thing. Okay. Number three is to clear out any roadblocks. What is standing in the way? It's time to remove them so that you can focus, okay? Number 4 is to develop a strong outline. Like I say, a blueprint is even better. That's what we do over here. We create a nice visual architectural blueprint, which is your story outline, right? And it's beautiful, so you know where you're going. There's no gaps, okay? And number 5 is to get help to close the process and expedite, to move it forward. Like, let's do it this year. What are we waiting for? Who's setting these goals for 5-10 years to write a book? Why are we delaying? There's no reason, okay? So this is the quickest way to get your book done during COVID right now, okay? If you do these steps, you should be able to move forward. Now, some people are going to want some personalization, right? If you're like, this is great, but I really just want somebody's eyeballs on my work, I really just need to talk it out a couple of things, then I will invite you to come and join me this Saturday, October 3rd, okay? I'm going to be doing a 3-hour masterclass, okay? 3 hours from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m., okay? You are going to learn how to write your book, how to get started, how to start developing your story. You're going to know how to finish it. And guess what? I'm going to give you a roadmap to publishing. This is huge, okay? Usually my clients pay thousands of dollars to get this, and I'm going to give it to all of you who step into the masterclass. Why? Because I want you to get your book done this year. This is a need, and I'm giving it to you, okay? So this will be an intimate group, okay? This masterclass, and I want to tell you about it now so you are not confused, okay? Listen, it's a paid thing. It's not a free thing, okay? So the paid amount is $149, okay? But I have a fast action bonus for all of you who are action takers, who are like, you know what? I'm ready to do it right now. I'm ready to get started. I cannot wait until this class. I'm ready, right? For 10 of you who are ready right now, I have already opened up the link for you, and I'm going to give you $100 off. So that means that for 10 of you, you can hop in right now for $47 for this 3-hour masterclass. Oh, and did I mention I have another bonus in here? I didn't even talk about this. So the second bonus that I have on top of you getting that publishing roadmap that I'm going to give everyone, the second bonus that you're going to get is I'm going to be hot seating everyone who's inside of this masterclass. So that means that we're going to talk about, unless you say I don't want to be hot seated, and that's fine. But for those of you who have specific questions around your process of where you are, around your story, about the things that are holding you back, we are going to talk through that. Okay, so I will give you a strategy session right then and there. I will tell you, my strategy sessions, people are like, yo, I could have got this, like, I wish I had gotten this years ago. So listen, don't sleep on being hot seated, because it will change your life. Okay, so the link, I have put the link above this video. Okay, I will drop it in the comment section right now. Let's see if it'll allow me to do it. It's bit.ly/write your book masterclass. So write your book masterclass. That's where you can get signed up. Spots are limited. Okay, spots are limited. Once they are gone, they are gone. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that once all of the spots are gone, you can't get in. You will be locked out. Okay, the other thing is the spots are limited for the fast action bonuses. Okay, so there are only 10 available. 10 that's giving you that $100 off to get that $47. If you want to come in, you can hop in now. Okay, but if you don't see that $47, if you don't take action when you see it, just know someone else may have already snagged it. Okay, and it will go back to that $147. Okay, so if you don't see any more $47 options, just know that they're all gone, and now you have to come in for $147. Yes, there will be a replay. Okay, so whoever steps into the masterclass, this intensive masterclass where we're going to be working on how to get your book started, how to get your book finished, okay, what you need to have in place, how to organize your chapters, all of these things that you're going to need is going to be inside of this masterclass this Saturday, okay, at 10 a.m. That's when we start. It's better if you come live because you will get hot seated. If you can't make it, that's fine. You will get the replay, okay? But just know that you want to be there, okay? It's better to be there. So that's what I have for you for today. I will tell you that for the next couple of days I'm going to be doing some more trainings, and I will tell you tomorrow the same time right here at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you turn on your notifications, because let me just be real, if Serena Williams is playing, I love tennis and she's my favorite person, if she is playing at this time, it may be delayed a little bit. You'll still get a training, but it will be delayed, okay? However, I will push for 12 p.m., okay? So tomorrow we're going to be talking about my top 3 things that stops writers from becoming authors. So that's what we're going to talk about, the 3 top things that stops writers from becoming authors. Okay, we're going to bust those out tomorrow, so make sure you come back. I am going to cover that training. Okay, listen, I want to see you in this masterclass. If you are someone who really wants to be an author this year, this is going to help you tremendously. I'm looking forward to doing this training, and I hope that I get the opportunity to work with you to do so. Okay, so again, turn on your notifications so you know that tomorrow 12 p.m. I should be here. I'm going to go and check the scheduling for tennis to see when she's playing, and most likely I'll be here at 12 p.m. so I look forward to seeing you. I hope you have enjoyed this training. Share it out with your friends, share it with someone who you know this will help, and if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.